Hello, ChatGPT. Let's get started today's conversation on the topic about the what I write down.
All right, just a little tweak before we get rolling. Today's conversation on the topic I wrote down would sound a bit smoother. Now go ahead and share your thoughts on the schoolwork versus sports debate, and I'm all ears.
Yeah. So, I think it is common belief that sports. Um, parents should spend their time and more time on sports with their kids or children, but there is a more persuasive opinion and persuasive argument that supporting academic supporting is a way more important way to help children to in the field of well-rounded education. In this regard, parents can influence their children and can help their children grow in many ways. On the one hand, sports with parents will be very beneficial because it includes extracurricular activities or hands-on activities, and you know given that most of sports have teamwork and require teamwork, children can be taught responsibility and how to work with others. Yeah, that's the good point and very advantageous point. So, for example, a soccer team is composed of 11 soccer players with very different role. Without a scorer or without a striker, the team may never score. I mean, that means once children get involved in this kind of activity, they can learn very many things, such as responsibility or something like that, and they can build their strong character. So, um, yeah, as such, sports is very beneficial to their children to improve their social skills or responsibility. But nevertheless, I think academic supports is way more important because, you know, let's assume that presumably, parents parents are likely way more aware of the children's weaknesses or strengths in many ways. So um, that means parents, the children's parents are they can provide their children with their more suitable, I mean, more suitable and more efficient ways. So yeah, that's the reason why I think academic support is more important. And furthermore, um, um, academic supports can also help children learn personal learn or improve personality development. In I mean they can be taught responsibility or effort, how to do effort and how to do patience, how to reflect their self control. Yeah, that's very beneficial. So, and I think, mm, how can I say? Uh, in some house, yeah, for example, in some house, studying time. I mean, spending time on study with parents is that can account for roughly the amount of time in sports. I think in all likelihood, studying academic supports from parents and studying with parents has a bigger and very more huge influence on children's growth. So, because I the what I want to talk to you and what I want to tell you is I wish I wish more parents understood that academic support is not only for their children's grades or something like that, grades or performances or something like that. So yeah, to sum up, I think it is apparent that sports is also important. However, it is undeniable that academic support and studying with parents is way more that has way more influence on children's growth or children's personality development.
You had a lot of great ideas, but let's smooth the ride. For example, you repeated persuasive and way more often. Just one is enough. Also, how to do effort isn't natural. Just effort works. Now, a refined version. I believe many see sports time with kids as valuable, but I find academic support even more impactful. Sports build teamwork and responsibility. Think of a soccer team that can't score without a striker. Yet, parents know their children's strengths and weaknesses best, guiding them to well-rounded growth. Studying together fosters patience, effort and self-reflection, skills that shape character. In short, while sports matter, academic support leaves a deeper imprint on a child's future. Next question, how do you think parents should balance these two aspects if they are short on time?
I think that's the way to utilize or use the after school time. After school time include the class after school time may include the extracurricular activities such as soccer's or basketballs or lacrosses or even writing or speaking other languages as well. So I think after school class may help children improve their one side skill. I mean either academic skills or the sports. Yeah, that could be better for. I mean, especially in the States, because in the States there most of parents are composed of double income parents. So they, as far as I knew, they can barely afford to teach after getting off. So I think that's the only sanctuary to improve and to study their children in very in situation lacking of time. So yeah, that's the good way to utilize class after school.
You're painting a solid picture, but let's iron out a few wrinkles. One-sided skill could be specific skill, and barely afford to teach is a bit unclear. Barely have time is smoother. Also, sanctuary is creative, but maybe too dramatic here. Refined version? I think parents can balance by making the most of after school time. These hours can include sports like soccer or even language learning. In places like the US where many parents are dual income, they often have limited time after work. So using after school programs can help kids develop specific academic or athletic skills. It's a practical solution when time is tight. Next, how do you think children's preferences should factor into the decision between sports or study time?
Yeah, that should be. Presumably, yes. I'm sorry to. I'm really afraid of ignorance of children's personal opinion. Yeah, I had been through this kind of situation when I was young. I mean, when I was elementary school student, I always had to go after school classes that where I was taught I mean IT. Yeah, that was the very basic skills of coding. Actually, when I was young, coding was very unfamiliar word and unfamiliar field to everyone. Um, so I always struggled to keep up with the pace of the class. I really I can emphasize this situation. So yeah, that's the yeah. I'm sorry to ignore and dismiss um, children's personal opinion, but it should be it should be regarded and it should be considered because um, actually the font I mean the role and I mean the basic role and basic um, I mean ultimate goal and ultimate purpose is for children's happiness and children's kindness. So that's very important factor when to choose after school classes or to choose Hagwon in Korea. So if I had a kid, I will if I had kid my kid, I would I would I would put my opinion on my kids, and I would respect their own opinion. Yeah, especially to be specific in Korea, um there are so many problems related to after school classes. There most of young students, I mean young yeah, young students in elementary school or middle school are now struggling to and striving to attend their after school classes and lectures. They basically they tend to attend at least 4 classes every day, every single day. So I don't I I don't want my future I don't want my future kids act same as like that, same as them. So mm, okay.
I really felt your empathy there. Now let's untangle a few bits. I had been through these situations would be smoother as I've experienced. Also, put my opinion on my kids sounds odd. Just say you'd respect both your opinion and theirs. A refined flow. I've been in situations where I had to attend after school classes like coding, which was unfamiliar back then. That's why I'd never dismiss a child's preference. The ultimate goal is their happiness. In Korea, kids often juggle 4 classes daily. I wouldn't want my future kids to be overloaded like that. I'd want a balance, respecting their voice and mine. Now, next Thor, how do you think technology like educational apps might impact this whole balance of sports and academic?